Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a joy to welcome everyone to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Hartford County. Our building is situated on the native lands of the Susquehannock people. We hope to move beyond mere acknowledgement to an action that promotes greater understanding of Indigenous peoples' concerns and rights. I'm Reverend Jay Brooks. My pronouns are she, her. Leading this service with me today, our worship associate, Cindy Curry. A special guest, Rabbi Meeka Simerly from Temple Adas Shalom in Havre de Grace. Ami Silberman, who will be sounding the Shofar today. And at the piano, the remarkable Brenna Kupferman.
We gather each Sunday morning on site and online to share in life's meaning, grow in care and community, and open our hearts and minds to the sacred truth known by many names.
We gather in community to restore the balance of our spirits, to celebrate the joys of life and find the strength to meet our sorrows, and in the earliest meaning of the word worship, to consider ideas that are worthy of our time and attention.
Unitarian Universalism is a religious tradition that values diversity and embraces the wisdom of all faiths. We use science, reason, and the gifts of the Spirit to explore life's mystery and meaning.
In this tradition, we know that people need not think alike to love alike.
Whatever your heritage, however your history, and whomever you love, you are welcome here.
Today, on this first Sunday of October, we introduce this month's learning and worship theme of deep listening, with attention to the Jewish days of awe. Today, we stand partway between Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. This is a time to pause and listen for the message of the holy. To help us listen, the sound of the bell and the music of Ani Vata lead us into an hour of worship. After the chalice lighting, the call of the shofar will signal the need for deep listening, humble self-evaluation, and reaffirmation of the commitment to live a good and ethical life.
אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה אז יבוא כבר כולם. אמרו את זה קודם, לפני לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה נשנה מכחת קלה. יהיה לנו רע, אין דבר זה לא נורא. אמרו את זה קודם, לפני זה לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. Together we will change the world. You and me, and then all the others follow. It's been said before, but it doesn't really matter. You and me, together we will change the world. You and me, we will try from the beginning. It may be hard, but it's not so terrible. It's been said before, but that doesn't really matter. You and me, together we will change the world. Anivata, you and me, Anivata, you and me.
Each Sunday, we light the chalice of our religious heritage. We do this for our ancestors who taught us through their various religious traditions and by their actions for justice and hope. We do this for our children who are learning the traditions we teach and who learn more from our actions than from our words. We do this for ourselves so that we are inspired to remember our beginnings, reflect on who we are now, and spread our wings as we understand who we seek to become.
Our call to worship today is by Chaim Stern, Atonement Day. Once more, Atonement Day has come.
All pretense gone, naked heart revealed to the hiding self.
We stand on holy ground between the day that was and the one that must be.
We tremble at what did we aim?
How did we stumble? What did we take?
What did we give? To what were we blind?
Last year's confession came easily to the lips.
Will this year's come from deeper than the skin?
Say then, why are our paths strewn with promises like fallen leaves?
Say then, when shall our lust be for wisdom?
Say now, love and truth shall meet.
Justice and peace shall embrace.
And now, please rise in body or spirit. Remain seated if it's comfortable for you as we sing hymn number 83 in the gray hymnal, Winds Be Still.
Winds be still, storm clouds pass and silence come. Peace grace this time with harmony. Fly, bird of hope, and shine, light of love, and in calm let us find tranquility. Bird fly high, lift our gaze towards distant views. Help us to sense life's mystery. Fly high and far and lead us each to see how we move through the winds of eternity. Light shining, illuminate our inward view. Help us to see with clarity. Shine bright and true, so we may join our songs in new sounds that become full of symphony.
Please be seated. Oh, this story for A Time for All Ages is a Jewish folktale from Poland, and it's called "It Could Be Worse."
A long time ago, there was a family that lived happily in a small, quiet house. One day, they learned that the grandparents were coming to live with them. Everyone was excited, although the parents were worried because their house was so very small. The farmer went to ask the rabbi what to do.
Let them come.
So the grandparents moved in. They had a lot of furniture. Some of it fit in the living room where the grandparents would sleep, and other things were crammed into other rooms. The house became very crowded and, in fact, quite noisy. The farmer went back to the rabbi. "I did what you said, Rabbi. Now my in-laws are here, and it's really crowded in the house and noisy."
Do you have chickens?
"Well, of course I have chickens."
Bring them into the house.
The farmer was confused, but knew the rabbi was very wise. So the farmer went home and brought all the chickens to live inside the house. It became even more crowded and noisy, with the clucking and pecking and flapping of wings. The farmer went back to the rabbi. "I did what you said, Rabbi. Now with my in-laws and the chickens too, it's really crowded in the house."
Do you have any goats?
"Well, of course I have goats."
Bring them into the house.
The farmer was baffled, but he still trusted the rabbi. So he brought all the goats into the house. Now it's even more crowded and noisy. Chickens clucking and flapping, the goats baaing and butting their heads into everything. The next day the farmer went back to the rabbi. "I did what you said, Rabbi. Now my in-laws have no place to sleep because the chickens have taken their bed. The goats are butting their heads into everything, and they make a lot of noise."
Aha! You must have some sheep.
"Well, of course I have sheep."
Bring them into the house.
At this point, the farmer was beginning to wonder about the rabbi. Still, he brought the sheep inside. Now the chickens were clucking and flapping, the goats baaing and butting, and the sheep baaing too, and one sat on the farmer's eyeglasses and broke them. The house is loud and crazy, and to be honest, it was starting to smell like a barn. Completely exasperated, the farmer went back to the rabbi. "Rabbi," he said, "I have followed your advice. I have done everything you said. Now my in-laws have no place to sleep because the chickens are laying eggs in their bed. The goats are baaing and butting, the sheep are breaking things, the house smells like a barn."
Here's what you should do. Take the sheep back to the barn. Take the goats back to the barn. Take the chickens back to their coop.
The farmer ran home and did exactly as the rabbi told him. As he took the animals out of the house, the other family members began to tidy up. By the time the last chicken was settled in the coop, the house looked quite nice. It was quiet, even spacious. Everyone agreed their home was the most spacious, beautiful, and comfortable home anywhere. Each Sunday, we invite those who are gathered here to support the mission of this congregation by offering a financial contribution. With love at the center, members here care for one another and extend that care into the wider community through actions of equity and justice, which, no matter how small, work toward the transformation of our world. The fellowship intentionally becomes the pluralism of theological beliefs as members seek to learn and grow, acknowledging our interdependence as we help each other toward deeper understanding. Financial contributions allow this congregation to reach out to all who seek a life-affirming message of love and hope. If you're online, click on the link in the Zoom chat to contribute. If you're on site, you may place a donation in the basket or use your device to find the donate link on the uufhc.net or on the Fellowship app. We're so techy. Whatever method you have of giving you choose, your generosity helps to grow a healthier, more joyful UU community, and in keeping with our religious heritage, to draw the circle of love and justice a little bit wider.
In this worship service that invites us to lean even more deeply into our mission as Unitarian Universalists, we renew our commitment as a community to respond out of deep care for one another. Now is the time to briefly share a joy, a sorrow, a gratitude, something you carry deeply within your heart this morning. If you're on site in the sanctuary, please come to the front and speak into the microphone while Cindy lights a candle. If you're on Zoom, please put in the chat a message that you'd like to share, and Brenna will read it as Cindy lights a candle. A few gentle reminders. This isn't a time for announcements or politics. Say your first name, share from your heart and from your own experience, and be mindful not to share anyone else's experience unless you have their express permission to do so. Would anyone like to share?
Return again, return again, Return to the home of your soul. Return again. Return again. Return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you were, born and reborn again. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again. Return again. Return to the home of your soul.
Before I engage in a reading from our special book that we use for Yom Kippur, I wanted to extend my gratitude to Reverend Jay for inviting me to be here, and thank you all so much for being here this morning. I am so touched, and I am so honored to be here with you, really. From the Talmud, we learn that our sages teach us, love God with all your strength. What it really means is show love with your wealth, put your resources toward good purposes, serve the Most High with everything you possess. Those who reject all material possessions, who spurn comfort and wealth, who deny the body, they lose their ability to appreciate life's value. Poverty and suffering do not cultivate the love of God. Rather, learn to love life. Live fully, cherish the world, and enjoy its treasures. Then you will gain a full measure of love. Then will your heart expand with gratitude. And only then will you give with a joyful heart. Rabbi Abraham Isaac Cook taught us the following: listen, all you who wrestle with your fate. The intimate and the infinite are one. Trust the unity with your whole heart, doubt and all, with your whole soul, and with all the powers of your command. Remember it. Repeat it everywhere, working or resting, sitting or walking, night and morning, alone, and to all you love. See it written on your hand, on your brow, in every commonplace and in every face.
Shall I turn it over to you to introduce this next song, which we're all going to sing together as a round? Keep your fingers crossed.
We've got audience participation. So we're going to sing By the Waters of Babylon, which I think most of you are familiar with. We're going to do it as a round. So we will, each of us, be standing in front of a section. And when it is your turn to start, we'll signal you. And when it's your turn to stop, we'll also signal you. But we're going to start it off as all together through the whole piece, so we all know it.
For these
This reading is entitled Once the World Was Perfect. It's by Joy Harjo, a U.S. Poet Laureate. It's perfect, and we were happy in the world. Then we took it for granted. Discontent began to rumble in the earthly mind, and then doubt pushed through with its spiked head. And once doubt ruptured the web, all manner of demon thoughts jumped through. We destroyed the world we had been given for inspiration, for life. Each stone of jealousy, each stone of fear, greed, envy, and hatred put out the light. No one was without a stone in his or her hand. There we were, right back where we had started. We were bumping into each other in the dark, and now we had no place to live since we didn't know how to live with each other. Then one of the stumbling ones took pity on another and shared a blanket. A spark of kindness made a light. The light made an opening in the darkness. Everyone worked together to make a ladder. A Wind Clan person climbed out first into this next world, and then other clans, the children of those clans, and their children, all the way through time, to now, into this morning light to you. Please join us in singing hymn number 216. Please stand as you are able, or stay seated if it's more comfortable for you.
Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, Venashuva, Venashuva, Chadesh, Chadesh, Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, Venashuva, Venashuva, Chadesh, Chadesh, Yameinu Kekudem.
Before I give you a few words reflecting on this meaning of the call of the shofar, I want to say how truly grateful I am to Rabbi Meeka Simerly for joining us today. We have been participating together in a Hartford County interfaith clergy group, which Rabbi Meeka started, and it has been a fantastic experience for us. I'm very grateful for her presence today. The other day, I was trying to explain Unitarian Universalism to a Seventh-day Adventist. There were some interesting moments. It might have been awkward, but we had started with my enthusiasm for Seventh-day Adventists because the only other one I knew, my son's second grade teacher, was the most wonderful, compassionate person I have ever met. So we started talking about what it means to be a good person. And with a few digressions into history, theology, the history of theology, we settled on the notion that being a good person means being kind to others. The Dalai Lama famously said, "My religion is simple. My religion is kindness." It's a love your neighbor idea, My new friend was delighted to hear that the latest restatement of Unitarian Universalist values explicitly places love at the center. That resonated with our shared central principle of being kind to others. There are many ways we can express kindness in our encounters with people. I'm sure any of you could make a list, and it would include ways that you've been kind to others and ways that others have been kind to you. One simple act of kindness that's especially apt as we reflect on the call of the shofar is a willingness to listen. Actual, deep listening is incredibly powerful. The poet and teacher John Fox says that when someone listens deeply to you, it's like holding out a dented cup you've had since childhood and watching it fill up with cold, fresh water. When it balances on top of the brim, you are understood. When it overflows and touches your skin, you are loved. I still have an old metal cup from childhood. It isn't big. It was intended for a child's use. I know exactly what it looks like when it's filled to the brim with what my dad used to call cool, clear water. I know that feeling of abundance when a little water slides over the rim. I know what clean water generously poured tastes like. And yes, that's love. The metaphor is apt. When we listen deeply and with attention, we hold the space for someone else's story. We fill their cup generously with our attention. At that moment, we are placing love at the center. It's human nature to want someone to listen and pay attention to who we are and what concerns us. Sometimes listening comes naturally. Sometimes it's necessary to put ourselves on hold for a little bit so that we can be fully present to the other person's story. I'm occasionally conscious of a mental reset when I shift from being in a casual give and take conversation to being in one where I do most of the listening. I've never been sorry for that reset. I've only ever been sorry when I look back and think that I should have listened better. The call of the shofar is an invitation to reflect on the relationships we're in and the ways that our own behavior has fallen short of the values we hope to live. It's also a time to rededicate ourselves to living those values, to living with love at the center. It's not complicated. Being kind is not complicated. Listening to another human being is not complicated. It's not always easy, but it's not complicated. The shofar, if it does nothing else, calls us to listen. And while the shofar is sounding, there is enough time, all the time that's needed, to rededicate ourselves to kindness, to living each day with love at the center. And now we're going to sing hymn number 392, Hini Matov, and Rabbi Meeka is going to lead us in this.
Let me turn this thing on. Hold on. So, Hina Matov U'Manayim, for those of you, probably most of you here don't know, I was born and raised in Israel. And I came to this country, this beautiful, wonderful country, 30 years ago. And one of the songs that I always teach in gatherings is Hine ma tov uma na'im. Let's say the words in Hebrew very, very quickly. Repeat after me, please. Hine, ma tov, uma, na'im, shevet, achim, gam, yachad. Bless you. And today, let's sing, even though there's a version in English there, let's sing the Hebrew, since all of you are doing such a great job speaking Hebrew. Wow. You can probably hear a little bit of a strange accent that I have, and that is because, yes, I do go to Israel as often as I possibly can. And my entire family still lives in Israel, everyone except for my husband and I, who live here in Whiteford. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Harford County. This is probably one of the greatest gifts that we gave ourselves this lifetime. We absolutely love being here. And today is really befitting for us to sing a song about coming together as a community. Doesn't matter what our background is, where we come from, but we're all here together. And this song really does capture that essence. So I'm gonna sing it one time, and I'm gonna come and stand right here in the center. I'm gonna try not to burn my talis with the different candles here. So I'll stay a little bit away from it. It goes like this. If you know it, join me. Hine ma tov uma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov uma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Let's try it together. Here we go from the top. Hine ma tov uma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov uma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Follow Brenna.
Hine ma tov uma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov uma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad.
Hine ma tov uma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov uma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov uma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov uma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad.
Rabbi, thank you so much. That was beautiful, everyone.
Oh my goodness, what a great choir of wonderful individual voices.
And Rabbi, if you'll help me with our benediction, which is by Rumi, 13th century Persian Sufi Muslim poet. Every tree, every flower, every growing thing as it grows says this truth: you harvest what you sow.
With life as short as a half-taken breath, do not plant anything but love.
Now we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts out into all the world.
Follow the Moskva down to Gorky Park, listening to the wind of change. An August summer night, soldiers passing by, listening to the wind of change. The world is closing in, and did you ever think that we could be so close, like brothers? The future's in the air, I feel it everywhere, blowing with the wind of change. Take me to the magic of the moment on a glory night, where the children of tomorrow dream away on the wind of change. Walking down the street, distant memories are buried in the past forever. I follow the Moskva down to Gorky Park, listening to the wind of change. Take me to the magic of the moment on a glory night, where the children of tomorrow share the dreams with you and me. Take me to the magic of the moment on a glory night, where the children of tomorrow dream away on the wind of change. The wind of change blows straight into the face of time, like a storm wind that will ring freedom bell for peace of mind. Take me to the magic of the moment on the glory night, where the children of tomorrow share their dreams with you and me. Take me to the magic of the moment on the glory night, where where the children of tomorrow share their dreams on the winds of change. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה אז יבוא כבר כולם. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם.
Brenna, thank you so much. And Rabbi Meeka, thank you. Everyone who is on site this morning, especially newcomers, please stay after the service for refreshments and conversation. But before everyone starts moving, we have a few announcements.
I'll start off with Marlene Leaves. She's told me this morning she needed to make an announcement.
Good morning, everyone. This is actually an invitation to any of our friends or visitors today to join Glenn Brown, who's our sound man in the back, and myself for the first of 3 sessions on exploring membership in this congregation. Even if you are not sure about joining this congregation and just want to know a little more about our history, how this congregation got started, and how we operate, it's a great information session. So I'll just kind of hang out around the front here at the end. And if you have any questions, come and see me.
The fall lineup of programs for adults is available in the most recent News Bites email, on our website, and in a paper version available out in the lobby. These many lifelong learning opportunities encourage personal and spiritual growth, so we encourage you to check it out today. And a special opportunity, the new Creativity Circle begins on Monday, October 14th at 7 p.m. here at UUHFC. We each have our own special sense of creativity, just waiting to be recognized and cultivated. This new group explores all the ways creativity can encourage spiritual growth. If you've ever said, "Oh, I'm not creative," which I've said many times, this group is for you. Come discover just how creative you really are. See Beth Woodroyd, please raise your hand over here in the center, or our own wonderful Brenna Kupferman. Sorry, you're wonderful too, Beth. Sorry. For more information.
Next week after the service is our monthly potluck, and following lunch, a special opportunity to learn more about volunteering in our program for children and youth, including some advice about that from the children themselves. Don't miss it.
Do you have anything to add to the history timeline on the wall to your left? Please do so today, or at the latest, next Sunday. We'll be moving on to the next stage of this history project.
And that's it. Enjoy this beautiful day.